What a sweet little song. How's it going, everyone? Good morning, good afternoon.
What does Eli usually say? Welcome in, everybody.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. We got a good crowd over here. We got Kevin. We got Rod. Comment down where you're from. I don't know what else he says.
Oh, you're channeling your inner Eli.
What an impeccable impression. Wow. I'm impressed.
So good. But yeah,
almost like
if Scott
you've done a couple of these.
Commenting, Scott, if you're here, here's Kenny. Scott Stone's been asking about you, man. He's like, "Where's Kenny? Is Kenny on his vacation?" We said
I'm here. Well, I haven't been on vacation. I wish. I've just been working hard. But good to see you. I haven't seen you, Rod and Kevin, in a hot minute as well. So it's good to be in the same virtual room.
Yeah. I think there it is. I think people always ask, like, where the heck's Eli? Eli is on a plane.
What is Eli doing? Oh, he's traveling out to our we have a mastermind and a photo workshop this weekend in Los Angeles. So he's flying out to LA all fancy like.
Shout out LA.
Leaving me over here in Florida. I'm just kidding. I can't go. It's like Easter weekend, you know. I can't fit in an event and this weekend we busy. But no, we got Kevin in here. I feel like it's been like 6 months since we made you come on here and talk up coaching and all that, you know. Yeah. But man, it's good to have you.
I don't know if you made me. I think I forced myself onto the.
Exactly. I think you did force us to have you on, if I'm not mistaken. At
gunpoint.
Exactly. If y'all are new, comment in new so we can welcome you awkwardly and put you on the spot and everything. So comment new if you're new, and then if you've been here before, like Dave, comment old.
Comment old.
Comment old if you've been here before. I'm just kidding. But no, today will be fun. What are we chatting about? We got Kevin on today. So what's the thing to talk about when Kevin's on? It's, well, how do you grow fast, controlled, and well, and with a good level head? I feel like so. Like, isn't that what we talked about talking today? It's just
probably going to be good to talk about how to start without fear. I'm sure Kevin had fear, but he did it regardless.
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, I was listening to the live that you guys had on last week with Emmaus, and he said something that just like, oh man, everything he was saying, I was like, yes. But like, I feel like him and I went down like the same path, the same journey, and I think it's the exact same path that a lot of people go down when they're first starting out. But yeah, that's like the biggest thing is fear. And it's like the fear of fear, or the fear of failure, or the fear of whatever it is. And I had a lot of it. Yeah, I had a lot of it. And it's kind of cool to see that I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only one that had like the sweaty palms and the hand shaking. And Mayes talks about it a lot. But I mean, you guys know better than I do. But yeah, let's talk about like the fear, I guess.
Yeah, and like I'll ask you a question, Kevin. What was your fear, if you don't mind sharing? Because like, and I think that's something
I didn't know
important
you
that
had fears.
too.
That's new to me.
That's something awesome that you said, that you pointed out. It's just like you thought you were the only one with sweaty palms, and just like, oh shoot, like, is this normal? And it's just like, that's why we love doing these lives and putting people on here. It's just because a lot of people who are just brand new, haven't started or have started, are like, oh, I've done this before. I've had that same experience. They're like, oh, it's not just me. I'm not crazy. So, like for me personally, knowing that there have been people that have done exactly what I've done has helped me be like, this is just part of the process. I'm not failing, because my mind immediately goes to problem, immediate failure. And that's just me. And that's something that I've worked on. But the fact that some other people have done, similar businesses or situations that I've gone through, I'm just like, no, it's just part of that path to get to that level that I want to get to. But anyway, going back to you.
I love what you said. It's part of the process, right? Just like that fear, it's normal. It's like I had. We'll talk about the fear a little bit. Like I went on stage last November, and like I just had like this. Like the fear of going on stage in front of a bunch of people, like was like I had like,
oh hell, I don't know how you did that, man. I could barely sit up there with Eli and Aaron up there sitting. I was in the middle too. I'm like, why am I in the middle?
I had crippling anxiety like leading up to the conference. But to your point, Kenny, I was like going down like the YouTube rabbit hole and Instagram, trying to like find some kind of motivation, something to talk me off the ledge. Like everything in me was like, cancel, come up with an excuse not to go on stage, like And then I heard David Goggins talk about how David Goggins, right? Like, who's gonna carry the boats? Like Mr. Confidence. He talked about the time where he went on stage one of the very first times. It was like some university, I forget. But he talks about how he went in front of the stage, in front of the audience, and he just looked out into the audience and walked right off. Like he had fear and anxiety so like it overwhelmed him so much that he literally walked off stage. So to your point, Kenny, to hear other people talk about how they experience the same thing, it gives you like that relief of like, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Especially if you look up to them, like Goggins, you're just like, he did that? Like this confident man did that? And like,
he threw in an extra couple F words, though, I imagine.
Yes, a couple.
Just a few.
Yeah.
But,
so I had
just real quick, so everyone, there's a lot of new people in here right now, and I just want to like, it's weird to compliment yourself, but let me talk you up, because I can talk you up just fine. But if y'all are new to this, and if y'all have been part of our community, you know who Kevin Salgado is. He's owner of Nashville Media Co. out in good old Nashville. Shocker, it's in Nashville. But your story is cool, and I don't know if I'm stealing your thunder to tell it, but I love it. And you showed up to one of our workshop events, just taking the wrapping off your gear that you just bought at Best Buy. I remember you said this at in their Nashville event like a year and a half ago. I'll never forget it. But you were taking the wrapping off your gear, kind of looking around like, what the hell am I doing? What the hell am I about to do? And then jumped in to get help, get guided and get coached and get help from us. And then a year and a half later, you hit a $50,000 month in the business and grew from zero, taking the wrapping off the gear, not knowing where the on button is technically at first glance, maybe, to creating a $50,000 a month business. I don't know where it's at now, but having a team and being a good boss and leading your team right. And you've inspired so many people here. You don't realize actually the impact that you've actually had when we talk about y'all and what y'all do and what you've done. And, Kenny too, as well. He's had a profound impact on many lives here too. But you've inspired so many people just from being on the lives and people talking, I want to be like Kevin. I want to be like Kevin. And now you're a coaching people here. How poetic is that? And now it's just amazing to see what you've done. And I just wanted to real quick thank you and just let everyone know who Kevin is, but also to thank you for like everything you've done, because it's been so much and for so many people too. So, but yes, that's Kevin.
Kevin too, because it's not like you had. Yes, we helped you, but it also is not like you had like you didn't have like, this was like brand new to you, and you're just like, this is my first business. Like so it's like very relatable to a lot of people who are in that boat of like, I hate my job, I need to provide for my family. and I want to do something that I love or that I enjoy doing that I can continue building, and that's scalable, which is real estate media. That's why the viewers are here. And so like your story is like super relatable because you're also a relatable guy, and it's just, I don't know. So same thing that Rod said, have nothing else to add besides that. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys. And I think partially the reason I feel so convicted to come on here is because when I first started, I would watch, I don't think you guys did as many like lives with other photographers, but you guys had like, you guys would like interview people, and you know, I look back at like Bronson with CPV, I look at Chris Powell, I look at I think Anthony Whittington, and I looked up to them, and I just thought, wow, these guys started from scratch and they figured it out through coaching, through figuring it out, putting in the work. And I just thought, man, if they can do it, I can do it. It's possible. Yeah. So that's why I have like the conviction to come on here and share my story, because Chris Powell, Bronson, they inspired me. I'm like, well, why not pass that along? So
it's that community aspect too. Like we were talking in the beginning of just knowing that there's people out there that are going through or have gone through similar situations or have made it to whatever extent you want to get to. And like, I think that's one of the biggest, not to put in coaching in here, but it's like why coaching is like super cool. It's just like that community right there of everyone literally doing, you know, depending on your, the level that you're on, whether it be launch, forward, or, you know, but, you know, those people are just starting with you as well, doing the things that you're doing, and just having that support system is just huge, I think. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out to, just said that he hired his first photographer. Jason, that's his name. I was
remember everyone's business name. That's impressive, dude. You still got it.
That's Jason. Congrats, man. I'm super happy for you.
And y'all comment wins. I always forget to say that too. This is a good reminder. Y'all comment any
wins. A little bit off track, but I saw that and I was like, I need to give him a shout out. So nice,
good
Jason.
Stuff, Jason.
Proud of you.
And y'all comment the wins that you've had since our last week. No wins too small, no wins too big. You know, as well. No matter where you're at, just starting or you're, you know, done this business for 20 years.
Yeah.
But in the wins, we love seeing it. It boosts us.
Cool. Well, going back, I mean, the whole topic of this live will be about like how do you call it?
I call it the common characteristics of the crushers.
There we go.
I love it.
It's kind of nice. And all we've done is just do deep. All we've done is just extensively study. Y'all, you know, like Kevin was saying, we've interviewed a lot of people recently on YouTube, and all we've done is just extensively study the trends that we're finding within all the people that dominate it with this business and get to 20 or 30 grand months within a year type. You know, it doesn't mean that if that's not someone's goal, we can aim you for wherever. It doesn't mean that it has to be the goal, but we're trying to find like, what are the common trends in the people that just crush? And we narrowed it down to a list of 7 things that I really believe are just absolutely the common things. So if you're watching this video and you're in coaching, lean in onto these things and trust it. If you're watching this video and you're not in coaching, right, lean in onto those things still, right, and trust it. And it's going to be a pretty good guide into, like, you know, if you find out there's a bunch of baseball players that went pro really fast, or a bunch of professional singers that went pro really fast, and there was common characteristics of them, and you wanted to be a successful singer, it's like, yeah, let's find those things and lean in on those things. So what we want to go now is just, I mean, I imagine we should just walk through that list almost together. And I wanted to get your insights, Kenny, Kevin, on just how that relates into the minds of someone running this business.
Let's do it.
And then just try to see, like, you know, challenge everyone to lean in on these things, you know, and obviously doing all this thing, you don't have to do it alone. If you're not in the coaching program, I don't want to plug it this whole time, but book in and talk with our team and talk about it so we can help you with each of these things, because it does take help to master and to do well with all these things we're going to go over. But, you know, it's, no, I love them. So let's hit it with number one. And this reminds me, I like it. This is just like a list of what to do as far as, like what Kevin did too, not to just compliment you. I'm going to compliment you this whole time, man. So you're not going to be able to escape it. But, number 1 is relentless hustle and fast action. So work ethic, working nights if you have to, working weekends if you have to, whatever it takes. Not saying I don't have the time, but finding the time, right? Proactive outreach, cold calls, DMs, showing up at real estate events or showing up at open houses, like I know you did, good sir. And then execute fast. You learn and you apply the same day. Eliminate overthinking. So that's number 1. So how does that relate to you, Kevin, with how you attack this business with work ethic, proactive outreach, and executing fast? Like, I feel like you did that, didn't you?
Well, I don't want to make this about me, but it's
Please do. Please do.
no. It's right. The common characteristics of the crushers. Like this is something that through the community, I've found like, oh wow, I wasn't the only one that had a fear. I wasn't the only one that had that relentless work ethic. But yeah, I mean, it goes back from the beginning, right? Like just being relentless. And I think here in the notes, you have like just taking action on everything, like fast action, rather than sitting on the sidelines for however long, a month, a week, a year. Like just take action and being relentless. Like that right there in itself is being relentless. Like taking that massive action and doing it quickly, right? And I think just before that, it should be like we started talking about like the fear of failure, whatever. Like you have to get over that very quickly and then just take action. And I think in talking with a lot of people, like now that I'm a coach and I'm talking to people, I think people think that they have to be prepared in order to take action. And it's like you don't get ready to start this business. You have to like figure it out along the way, right? Through hard work. Like you develop your skills, you develop who you are as a person through the work ethic.
The stuff you learn comes from experience, not from
yeah.
a coach or like a course or like that helps a ton. It helps prepare you, but like what's actually going to actually push you to where you want to get to is actually putting in the work and action. I had some thoughts on this. The first bullet point: relentless hustle and fast action. Fast action 100%. Like a lot of people overthink. I overthink a lot of things. It's just something that you kind of just learn not to, because you see the downside of overthinking. A lot of my regrets have been of like, oh, I could have done this a while ago. Like, of course, why did I wait till so long? It's not even like the perfect time. It's just like, there's really never a perfect time. It's just like yesterday was the perfect time. Also with this, the relentless hustle, it may seem, looking from an outside perspective, somebody who like enjoys spending time with family, my dogs, who I pretty much treat like humans.
You love and adore.
Of course. Like, yes, nights, weekends, you will go through that. But I think using a calendar is going to be super beneficial. I literally tell that to everyone. Use a calendar. Set aside maybe 2 hours. You don't need to work 12 hours straight because you're not going to do great work like that. But if you just set aside, even if it's just 30 minutes because your whole day is booked, and you just focus on your business 30 minutes just a day, you're going to get farther than somebody who's just thinking about taking that first step. And that's how it really just starts. So you committing, putting it on your calendar, letting your family members know, like, hey, this weekend, we may not go out, but I'll have some time with you. But like this weekend, I would love to set up my business. I would love to set up my Instagram profile, my pricing, my shopping cart. So by Monday, I'm ready to start doing outreach. I can start getting clients. And so, yes, a lot of that hard work comes, but it doesn't have to be like an everyday 12-hour thing. And I think a lot of people have that misconception. It's like, yes, relentless work means work hard, but work efficiently and smart.
Yeah.
Everyone's building a business for a reason. And so like, I think you said it, or Jared says it after every coaching call that he has. It's just like, remember your why and like why you started. Like you didn't build this business to be tied down to it and have less time. You're building a business to have whatever your why is. For Emmaus was his daughter, and making sure that his wife could actually enjoy being a mother, and him being for his family. And so different people have different goals and different wants and needs. And so just keeping that in mind, putting in that work
creates the work.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you hear so many people, right? The crushers. That's why you hear so many of them say, oh man, when I finally took the leap of faith, I went all in. I burned the ships. And it's like, and again, it's not just me or just Emmaus saying it. It's a lot of people. Like Mr. Robles, Daniel Robles, he's in there. He's in the chats creeping. If you guys want to pin him, he's another person that burned the ships, and he's crushing it. So he's just hit over $10,000 a month, and
nice.
He's pretty new. Six months in, he went all in. He put in the work. He burned the ships.
I'm sure it wasn't easy either.
And it wasn't easy. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just, that's one of the common characteristics of the crusher that I went through, and I see other people do it and it pays off. But I think, again, just going back to, yeah, you're right. Like getting over the fear and then putting in the work, taking action, right? Getting rid of the limiting beliefs and then just going, right? Not just because, but because you have coaches, you have a community, you have other people that have done it. So then that's where like that confidence to go all in comes from, So I think that
mindset of that you said, like, if these people can't do it, why can't I?
Yeah.
And just, I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't want to make it seem so easy, but it's just like, it's real estate media. Unless you like to
Well,
overcomplicate
you know
things,
what?
it's just
Here's
like,
the thing. Here's the
you
thing.
know,
No, it is that easy. Like, this is the easiest job I've ever had in my life. Like, taking photos of mansions, taking photos of boxes. Like, it's a pretty good gig. So
yeah,
once you get to that point, it's easy. It's kind of
Yeah.
like this. Like, now, when I first started, there was so many what ifs. I'm starting a business, and I don't even know. I don't. What is an LLC? How do I get that? All the what ifs. But now I've hired photographers, and it's like it's kind of the same thing. Training them from scratch. It's like, hey, the learning curve is going to be very difficult. There's going to be a lot of feedback, a lot of mistakes, and
yeah.
then you'll get better, and then it'll get easier. So it's like learning curve, and then it just gets easier and easier and easier and easier.
But you had to get,
You know?
you had to hire your first photographer to know how to train your second one. So I was like,
Yes.
if you were thinking of like, okay, I need to be prepared. I was like, how do you get prepared? Like
Yeah.
you have to do something and mess up and suffer and be like, oh, this,
Yeah.
well, you have to suffer, but like in the moment, it feels like you're
Yeah.
an eternity. And then you realize you're
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm on my fourth photographer, and it's literally just a
Yeah.
copy and paste process. But you
And
have to start.
that's part of the process as well. Like the fear part of the process, the mistakes, the taking, like, that's all part, like putting in the work. Sometimes you stay up a little bit too late. Like, that's all part of the process. But it's
100%.
okay. And then
Yeah.
and that's where it's like you're learning as you go. You're refining. It's getting easier. It's getting better. But it's like it's all part of the process.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Love that
Back
too.
to you, Rod. You've been a little too quiet there,
Well,
Rod.
that
What's
was
going on?
number one. So we have 6 more to do in 7 minutes.
Oh man,
So
we
we
have
can do this. We can
we
do
have
this.
it's a
Fast
4-hour live, right?
action. We'll do fast action the rest. But no, that's it. Again, number one, relentless hustle and fast action, work ethic, proactive outreach. You do calls. I remember at an event, you called somebody right there at the event, and got the free shoot. But just showing up and executing fast and having a big enough why that will. Sometimes it's easier to just do those things, but if you have a big enough reason and you channel that and you remember that and you got a good support system around you, it's just a matter of time. So number 2, an unshakable mindset and belief. So self-confident, took risks, right? Maybe left a job once they started making money or investing in coaching, things like that. Or they're resilient. Rejection, slow start, keep pushing. I love those two, rejection and slow start. Like, not getting a yes is demeaning feeling, and this isn't to keep going. Collect them, right? And then slow start. Like, I remember interviewing Jordan, who did 82 grand his first 8 months. His first 3 months were like $200 each or something, and he was like, "What the hell," And he had this big goal of 15 grand month by month 6, and then eventually hit 14,500 by month 6. Pretty close. I thought that was a pretty cool, it's just stay focused. Y'all'd be surprised in my experience of providing coaching for a decade, business coaching, and how many people cut it off right before the point of which they would have hit it, and how sad that makes me to see that. It's not fun to watch someone be so close to everything they want and just walk the other way after it. And it's usually 2 weeks or 2 months. Those are the two tests. The first 2 weeks are tough because our brains are used to paychecks, and it ain't getting a paycheck. So this thing is, get this thing away from me because this is not normal. It's the first 2 weeks. First 2 months is because now you put in a lot more work and you ain't seeing nothing yet. And it's like, what's the point? Just might as well get a job because I'll get a 2-week paycheck. It can start to feel a certain way, right? But just pushing through those first 2 to 3 months, or however long, it's to be 6 months for some people. It's 1 month. It could be 2 weeks for some people. It's different, right? But that, keep pushing, it says. I thought it's such a simple 2 words, but it just means so much. And then disciplined. You treat it like a real business early on, not a hobby, not a this, but like you're a business owner. But yes, that's the second one. I love that one, right? Resilience, disciplined, focused on as a business, and then took risks. That one doesn't need to be. That one is easy to explain. Third one is networking mastery, relationship building, focus on clients, getting clients to love you, right? Referrals, great service, spread their names quickly because you provided a great service. Or the shed painting example that Eli likes to use. He's like that, that uncle at the event that says the same story over again. It's like the first time. I love it every time, right? So, and then community presence, showing up at brokerage meetings, real estate groups, right? Putting on free classes to teach agents how to use their media better that a photographer gets them. And, oh, hey, by the way, you're a photographer. Hey, can I use you? Right. So it sounds like the third is networking, getting out there and really focusing on right? Client support and customer support. I know we've talked about that a lot on lives, but I imagine that was a pretty integral part of your process, Kevin. It's just treating agents with love. Yeah.
Real quick, I think this comment ties into what you're saying, right? Because you're talking a little bit about like the customer service side of it and whatnot. There's a comment in here. It's like, oh, I guess this, yeah, there we go. This isn't a talk about tips and hacks for taking photos. It's like, you can do
there's videos out there for that.
Can be.
There's plenty of videos.
There's plenty of videos. It's just like that is what Rod was saying. Not attacking you whatsoever, but it's just like you either treat it as a photography business or you treat it as a business. And a business, like the photography side, is the easiest thing, unless you're overcomplicating your using flash and whatnot. But like that stuff is just like we have videos in our own YouTube channel here with Eli. Well, like the stuff that we're talking about, or we're going to be
side. That's where we're going to be more of the business
stuff, where people are just like, they tend to forget about what, like the customer service stuff. I was going to say, like, that's probably one of the hardest things that people go through, because they're stuck with people saying, know your worth, thinking like an artist, basically. It's just like, know your worth. You're not supposed to be giving away free shoots. Why are you loving the client? They're supposed to be paying you, like, and things like that. So like the stuff that we're going to be talking about today and like right now, it's just stuff that's actually going to help you grow your business, regardless where you're at and what level, whether you're just starting or have started.
And it's the whole topic of today is like the common characteristics of the crushers.
Yeah.
The common characteristics were not that they all knew their settings or that they knew how to take the best best composition of photos. No, the thing that we've seen that has been like the key to their success has been their customer service, has been their service first approach. Like that's why I grew quickly.
The resilience.
The resilience, the taking action, like that's what propelled me to grow a successful business. Not that I knew my settings better than the other guy, not that my photos were better than the guy up the street. I've said this many times, and it's so true. There are plenty of other photographers here in Nashville that are better photographers than me. There are photographers here in Nashville who have had 10 plus years of experience. They're better photographers. I didn't own a camera prior to 2 years. I didn't own a camera before I started national media. I came across Eli's video and he was like, this is how easy it is to take these photos. I'm like, bet I can do that. Like if they can do it, I can do it. And then I came in and I crushed the competition with my customer service, with my resilience, with my all of that. Like taking photos is the easy part. Like
I was going to say, like, yes, your photos need to be good enough, but a lot of people try to, like, I was at a Facebook group yesterday. I think I saw it, or 2 days ago, but it was just like this person pretty much bragging that they took 2 hours to color grade some video. And I was like, 2 hours, just do it in like 5 minutes. And like the client's not going to see a difference. And it's just like exactly what you said, Kevin. The client remembers how you treated them, how you treated the homeowner, the seller, like whoever's involved in there, and like how you showed up. You showed up on time, dressed nicely. And as long as you provided a good enough product, they're more than happy to work with you, because you made them feel good. You made them feel like you were part of their business. And so, I mean, just those things matter much more than, making sure that you have the best composition, best lighting, best everything, like you said. Like, once again, it needs to be 80% there, but the rest, it really just doesn't matter. But
Oh, and then on the Q&A side of these calls too, if someone's got questions like that, we'll answer them too. But I think a lot of times what really moves the needle with people are the conversations about this, and even just simply with the agents, just the perspective of everything that you do is for them to sell that home faster. For them to sell the home faster. Like, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll do whatever it takes to help you get this home sold, to get that home sold for that homeowner, to get that new family into a home of their dreams. There's a lot going on that really provide that sense of focus. That's not just on our business and that, but it's just to be able to get that agent, get that property sold faster. So networking, community presence, relationship building, focusing on the connections and the relationships versus the transactions. I think
just taking it back to like the whole, why we felt the need to put this on the list as like a common characteristic is that I think people put a little bit too much focus on the photos, and that's kind of what bites them in the butt. And then they spend all of their time and energy and their mental bandwidth on trying to perfect their photos or their video, thinking that that's new, or thinking that that's what's going to like propel the business. But really, it's like agents don't really care about that. Like, you guys talk about like the good enough approach all the time. And I'm I'm just basically at this point reiterating things that you guys have said 1,000 times. But
No,
it's
it's
like,
good. And like that's the
know,
thing. We mean it. It's not that we're saying
yeah,
good enough as in deliver crap. It's like
no,
it just needs to
yeah,
be
for sure.
literally good enough. It doesn't need
Yeah.
to be perfect. It just
Perfect. That's what it is. I think people are chasing perfection, thinking that like if I can just get my photos to be perfect, then the business will come. And it's like, no,
Mm.
the business is going to come by you having amazing customer service,
the
being easy to
systems, the
work
perfect
with.
system.
Yeah, your availability, your
Yep.
turnaround times, like
Yep.
painting the shed, like being like, I love the way Emmaus framed it last week. Like when things really started to click for him was when he realized that he had to focus on their business more than his. So really just leaning into like
Mm.
the service aspect of it. Really, that's when things started taking off for him. And Emmaus is the perfect person to talk about it. He was a photographer. He did have all the experience. He had all the highest gear, but things weren't really clicking for him until he started putting his focus on what really
I remember
mattered.
he said that. He was like, "Wait, I know the settings. That's not
Yes.
that's not the thing
Yes.
that's gonna make me successful in this. Like
Yeah.
what? Like
Yeah.
what else is there?" And
Yeah.
it's just customer service. Like you
Yeah.
don't need this complicated
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, and it's like, and yes, your photos do need to be good. If you go look at our Instagram, I take immense pride in our photos. I take immense pride in our
You got
videos.
good
I
video
think,
too, good
Great.
sir.
yeah, man. But I didn't wait to build the business until my photos got good or until my videos.
Yeah,
Like
you
it
got
wasn't
good
like
over time.
yeah, it got good over time. It wasn't like, okay, I've been working for 2 years to get my video. Okay, now I can start making money. No, I've been making money since day one, baby.
No,
And it's
you
like,
offered everything. I remember you calling me like, "I just got booked for this. I have no idea what I'm doing."
yeah,
And I
I,
was
I
like,
literally like I offered like Matterport services on my shopping cart. Somebody booked it, and I was like, I don't even own a Matterport camera. What? Like, I should probably go get one. Like I offered video services. I didn't. I had never like. I literally showed up to a shoot, and like the plan was, all right, I'll watch the video on how to shoot photos when I get there, and then I get there, and of course there's no internet, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't even like that thought never even crossed my head. But it's just like, yeah, like I didn't perfect my photos and then go start the business. I didn't perfect my video and then go start the business. No, I figured it out along the way.
and I'm
And
sure
that's
that
another.
was scary, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And like
It
yeah,
forces you to
something that
learn
I
things
wanted
though.
to
You're like, oh,
bring
I got to
back.
shoot
yeah,
in a couple days. I got to learn. I got to learn this real
Yeah.
quick.
exactly.
It
Yeah,
Well,
puts
something
yourself
that I
in the
wanted to bring
fire.
back is
Yeah.
just like the fear is I don't think it's gonna go away. You're just gonna get used of knowing that when you have fear, it just means that you're doing something new and it's just part of it because you've experienced it
yeah,
before. Like I'm sure you were fearful or you were scared whenever your first customer when you met them first, and then when you first hired your first photographer, first VA, first everything, and you're just like, oh no, it's just I'm scared, but it's part of it. Like I know
yeah.
I'm gonna get to this level, and I just have to cross this little fear bridge right here, and
Yeah.
that's
And I think once you can develop that like personality trait of like just going in, taking action, figuring it out along the way, like things start to click and pick up speed. Like I didn't know I didn't know how to hire people. I didn't know how to like set up payroll and I figured it out. I didn't know how to fire people and then I figured that out. I didn't know how to build out systems and hire a VA and I didn't know how to do any of that. Like you figured that out along the way. So I think what
yeah.
we're talking about right here is like I think a lot of this advice maybe is a little bit more geared towards people who are on the fence of starting the business, but also these characteristics that we're talking about are just as relevant a year in, 2 years in,
Mhm.
because then there's still new things that you have to figure out. There's new systems and whatever. Like just so I think building that characteristic in yourself, I think is huge. So
Yeah.
yeah, back to you, Rod.
No, that's perfect, man. And this is exactly what I wanted. Just going through this list and just having it taken through, the lens of both of you is exactly it. So this is good so far. This fourth one is easy. It's just hyper focused on real estate niche, just focusing in on real estate media, not doing multiple things unless they come across it's a glorious offer, take it, but
Yeah.
just really honing in on real estate. Now, number 5.
Well, I have a
take
comment on
notes
number 4 real quick, because I think I was gonna say like so for number 4,
wait, where did
yes,
my
focus
list
on
go?
real
My
estate
list
media.
disappeared.
Oh,
Sorry, I think I'm lagging. My internet
you're good.
sucks.
You're good.
All right.
Okay, so for number 4, the thought that I had is just like I've had so many coaching calls where students are like, hey, the agent is asking me if I can do this, if I can shoot a wedding, if I can shoot a corporate video, if I can do this. And their fear is that they're gonna be missing out on something if they just say no. And I mean, that's the whole reason why you're your own boss. It's okay to say no to things. You're always going to be missing out on something, but what's actually going to be like the biggest thing that's going to get you to whatever goal you have? Is it going to be purely focusing on one thing, or maybe offering like a bunch of little things that will give you what I like to call it mediocre success? Because like you feel like you're doing more, but you're actually just delaying the thing that you're wanting to grow the most by accepting all the things that don't matter. So just wanted to put that in there, because I think a lot of people just have fear in that, not being able to say no to things, and stick with what you're doing. We have people in California I have clients in California that it's a big stay at everything with videos, photos, and all that, but I have some clients that they just still shoot standard videos and they don't want to do any premium stuff, and that's fine. Like they're making that choice. And so anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I just want to be like, you're a business owner, you can say no to things. Focus on that one thing instead of having mediocre success with a bunch of little things. Anyway, number 5, Rod.
Comes down to focus.
Yeah.
No, I love that, man. No, so 5 is, it just says high ticket upsells and bundled services. So not just doing photos, obviously incorporating all services, really focusing on AOV, really focusing on while you're at the shoot. Wow, this home is beautiful. A drone would look really good here. And this would, hey, we can offer drone and video for 50% off, with this free shoot. If you want us to add that, like just getting comfortable to sell, because they are salespeople. They almost will think less of you if you don't try something. It's like when I'm in sales, I love sales. I've loved sales for 20 years, right? If someone comes to my door and tries to sell something, right, and comes away and doesn't come back and follow up, I'm almost like, come on, where's the follow-up? I'm still going to say no, but I want it. Where's it at? So they are okay with follow-up. They're okay with upsells as long as it's done tastefully with value and meaning value, and you genuinely feel like this will help them sell that home faster and portray the home better. So it comes through that lens. But yeah, I've noticed a lot of the crushers are really comfortable with upselling because they really believe in the value of the product versus thinking that they're being salesy.
Well, you know what it is?
It's like more value consultative selling versus like car salesman selling is what this one's about.
Yeah, well, it's what Kevin said. It's just like you have to develop that skill of loving your clients, and as soon as that clicks, everything just starts coming to you. You're like, whoa, that was it. Yeah. So if you have that mentality of loving your clients, of course, when you upsell, they're not gonna feel like you're upselling them.
I think that like sales, it's like a dirty word, right? Like people kind of like get turned off by that word, like sales. I think a better way to kind of think about it is like just having confidence in your product, having that conviction in your product, and it kind of goes back to like having that servant mentality. Is like, no, I believe in this product. I'm not just trying to sell you these extra drone photos because I'm trying to add on 125 to the order. No, I truly believe it's like, I'm just recommending these because I think this property deserves it. So it doesn't come out of a place of like the bottom line. It comes out of a place of wanting to serve the clientele, and it's so, yeah, I don't think it's so much sales, because I think that's like, I don't really consider like what I do with our clients sales, but like I will recommend like, hey, this house is incredible. Like I see we didn't order video.
Yeah,
we should do video. Have you seen our videos? They're pretty good. It's like, would you like to do video on this house? You know what? Yeah, you're right. Let's do it. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. But they might have their own reasons. But like, I very much like the very kind of like nonchalant, really like casual like conversation about it, right? So I don't know. But
you make it about them too, I think, Kevin. So you just like, it would really look good for this home because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Exactly.
You give an explanation. If they say no, you're like, cool, okay, no worries. If they say yes, perfect.
Yeah, and like if you're, if you're starting out, like I did this a lot, and I think it paid off really well. Is like I'm at a house, and I really thought like, man, this house would look incredible on a video. Like I would love to have this on my profile. I love my portfolio. Like there was times where I asked a client like, did you want to go ahead and add a video? I have some extra time. They're like, no, I'm good. Well, what if I did it for free? Like, would you be, like, I like how Amaya is like, would that offend you in any way? Like, I don't know if I'm going to say it that way. I'm going to say something like that in my own words, but yeah, like I'll throw in a free video. And then maybe like in a way, like that's sales. Maybe they like the video so much and they like the experience that maybe they're going to order it next time, or maybe like that video I can use to promote my video services to other people. It's like in the beginning, just like truly having the conviction in your product and knowing like, hey man, my video is pretty cool. Like I think we should order one. And if they say no because they don't want to spend the money, well, hey, would you like one for free? And then if they say great, like awesome. So it's not really, I think it's it really just boils down to like having the belief in your product, having the conviction, and just knowing that at the end of the day, what you're offering them is going to benefit them. it is going to help them sell that home. I think that's what it comes down to.
I love that.
Love it.
Yeah, leaning into the sale was a common thing in the interviews that I'll hear, is that it's just they don't feel like they're selling. They just really feel like they're recommending and helping and just being there, and
Consulting.
the rest happens. Right. So I also thought Eli was commenting. That's you as Kenny, or that's you as Eli.
Okay, I got excited for a second. I was like,
he's
he's watching. Let's go.
He's watching. Now I'm like self-conscious, like, uh-oh. But all right, number 6. This one's kind of a coaching plug, so I'll go through it quickly. But it's coachability. I mean,
I think it's very important,
whether they're in coaching or not. Just remaining coachable and not going. A lot of times, it can be easily where someone goes, "I don't do it that way because of this." And it's like there's not really like an openness to maybe leaning in. To me, it's like imagine someone plays football and they throw the ball like this. And they like throw it like that. And like that's just how I've always learned. And they're trying to go and play on a team, and they're like, no, you got to throw it like this if you want to throw it well. It's like, no, I throw it this way. And that person tries to throw it normally, and they're struggling with it. They're like, see, I'm better this way. But it's like, no, we got to be uncomfortable with this new way a little bit and try this new way a little bit. And you might actually find it's a way easier and better, and you're able to throw it better. Right. So a lot of times people don't lean in because they're so used to something, and it just is easier to keep doing the way, do something the same way. And it can feel like the illusion of I'm not better that way. You are, if you actually lean in on it. We the things we're not good at, we lean away from. And Eli and I have discovered a lot of stuff within REPP that we're like, at first we didn't lean into it, like trying to like for like hiring, for example. It's like, oh, I don't want to hire people. I don't want to do that. I used to say, I don't want to get on calls and like hire and bring people in. Like, I don't want to do that. Sounds like a golf swing. Eric, exactly, Eric. That's actually really good. Speaking of the master, don't make me go on a tangent about the masters, Eric. But I didn't like getting on calls doing interviews. I didn't like it. Now I love it because I lean in on it now, and I've gotten a little bit better at it. And I know like kind of what questions to ask before it. And I've just like each time gotten better, focusing on improvement each time. Get a little bit better, get a little bit better, get a little bit better. Now I feel like I've gotten better at it, and I really, really enjoy it. And it's like my whole life, I could have not known what that feeling was, just because I just wasn't leading into something I maybe didn't feel like I liked. And it's like, if you give it the chance, you will like it. So I don't know how coachability led me to that. I think I've somehow ended up in another world over here.
Well, it's being
I don't know how I got here, but yeah, that's my point somehow.
It's being willing to do something that you thought you shouldn't do, maybe, or didn't want to do. I mean, like
something like that.
Emmaus, going back to him, I think that was a great example too. But like, he was a photographer. He knew the settings, the perfect settings and all that. And so I'm sure he had to learn a lot of like, wait, I don't have to shoot this way. I can actually do it simpler than this. And he was just like all in, because he knew that his ultimate goal wasn't to be the best photographer in his area or the US or the world. It's just like, I just want a great business. And why would I want to build a complicated business? Like, let me just build a great, big, simple business.
And you'll see the students back there that just are very coachable. You can just really feel like it's what we said in number 1. They hear something, they learn it, and they take action immediately. And really trust. It's really a level of trust too. It's just like trusting. Like, anytime I've ever improved in my life, I did not trust the source sometimes because I didn't feel like it was right. I didn't feel like it was the thing. And then I leaned in, and then I improved, and I'm like, dang it, I wish I did it faster. And coachability is a skill, awareness, being humble, and all of that is just a learned thing that we either have from being around those people, or we learn it from seeing that. So it's being coachable and aware are very tough things that once happens just can be an incredible thing. So easier said than done. All right. So, but community and leading in on the community, not just being coachable, but ask for help, use the Q&A calls, community feedback, and implementing the help.
From what I've seen, now that I've been on the coaching side, I think I've seen people like that coach, like they become more and more coachable as they go along. Like, they're a little bit more reluctant in the beginning, whether it's fear of the unknown, whether it's ego, whether it's just reluctant because, like you said, maybe they didn't trust the source. And as you're going through the process, you become more coachable. You become more open to other people's suggestions, because you're like, you know what? You kind of like, you learn to discern where the advice is coming from. Like, you're like, I'm going to look at whoever it is, Kevin, Mike, Emmaus, whatever, Pauline. I'm going to look at them. It's whatever they're doing, it's obviously working. I'm going to take their advice. And like, you just become a little bit more open to being coachable. I think so. It's Yeah, I think Rod, you said that perfectly. But I just love how
Sometimes
you
getting
kind
coached
of
can feel embarrassing. It's like you can feel like almost. I remember when we were at a mastermind in Vegas, and it was either directed to you from Colleen or from you to Colleen, or someone like one of y'all said to each other, like, "Dude, you're in your head. Like, get out of your head." Or Jared was like, "Delete your VA's number from your phone because they shouldn't be bothering you this much," or something.
Oh
And just
yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah,
quick
yeah,
call out of like, stop
yeah,
what you're doing, and
yeah,
to not get it like embarrassed into the like y'all weren't.
yeah,
It's interesting. Like if you do that with someone who's brand new to business in a room full of people, it's like you're embarrassed. You've embarrassed me in front of this room of people. And y'all, when y'all did that to each other, were just like, you're right, and leaned in, and it just like it took out that fear of what people are going to think because I don't know something or I'm having to ask for help in that vulnerability state. So it's quite
yeah.
interesting to kind of see that
And
unfold.
and again, like I think again, taking it back to like the whole reason we're having this discussion, that is a very common characteristic that we've seen in people who succeed, like who have massive success. They are coachable. They don't take offense to when people are giving them advice. They have an open mind. They lean into the community. They lean into like just being coachable in general, and like it really just it pays off for them greatly. I think just getting out of your head, pulling the ego off to the side, or what for whatever reason it is, whether it's like the fear of the unknown or just whatever. I think kind of getting outside of your own head and allowing yourself to be coached and allowing yourself to kind of learn. It just it'll do you a lot of good for sure.
Yeah. Whew. All right. And number 7, scaling systems and future team building. Obviously outsourcing the editing, and really working the business with intention of creating scalable systems. If you do something so overcomplicated and you eventually want to hire into it, they're going to be like, what the heck? I can't, like, they're going to have to figure out that. Then you're going to have to train that person on that complicated mess. And now you're doing double. It's like, create with intention of where you're going to be 5 to 10 years from now. Approach this business, treat it the way, believe it till you achieve it. I don't fake it till you make it. We could say that too. I like believe it till you achieve it or whatever. But
I like that.
I would say it's building with intention of where you want this business to be 5 to 10 years. Like sometimes I'll talk to people who are doing like $4,000 a month. They're like, I'm just not busy enough to outsource the editing yet. I'm just not busy enough to do that. I'm like, you're not building for today, baby. You building for 5. Are you going to be outsourcing when you scale this thing to $30,000 a month? No. Well, why are you doing it now? Don't get into the habits of things you're not going to be doing later. You're just working against the grain. So it's building with efficiency in mind for the case of when you scale, not having a business that consumes you and is a chaotic mess. It's like sometimes I get people on the call that wants us to help their business. They've been doing it 10 years and they're stressing. They can barely look at me. They're looking all over, scratching. They're thinking about 15,000 things. And I just see zero peace. And I don't see the reason they started this business in the first place anymore. And it can feel sad when I see them. I'm like, come on now, let's get you back to loving the business again. And that's because they scaled an inefficient mess. So the 7th thing is focusing on scalable systems. So before we get into Q&A and all that, like, what does that mean to you guys when you think about, scaling with the future in mind like that?
Yeah, I mean, like exactly what you said. Like, I'll use Rod as an example. Let's just say that you're brand new to this. What would 20K a month Rod with a business that does that think? And based on that, act upon it. So 20K a month Rod is not editing his photos or videos or any of that. So why do you not just start from the very beginning and start doing that? And that goes back to like the mediocre success that I was talking about too. It's just like, I see people being like, I get we have to edit our photos or videos, but I would love to learn that first so I at least know what I'm doing. It's like, but why? Are you gonna do it at some point? Like if there's like, no, you don't have to do it. So why even care about that? So it doesn't mean that you have to hire photographers from the very beginning. It just means that you at least are aiming for that. If scaling is what you want to do, some people just want to do this solo, and that's totally fine. But like exactly what you said, Rod, like think of your why and why you started this business. And are you doing things that are going to prevent you from, I keep using family because that's one of my whys. It's just like, I want to be free to be with my family. And so everything I do is because of that. And I do act like that. So it's just like, am I adding more stuff on my plate that'll prevent me from doing that? And if yes, then why am I doing it? I think you said that at some point, Kevin, too. You're just like, I was doing these things and I stopped because I was like, I need to be with my family. Like I have kids. And so you know, remembering your why and acting as somebody that you're going to be at some point. Might as well just start doing it now and not wait until that point.
So maybe it's not believe it till you achieve it. We should make it be it until you achieve it. Oh, we just changed it right there. That's better. I like that.
Must go.
I'm gonna tattoo that on my back by next week. I promise. It'll be there. But no, that's the list. That's the 1 through 7. Dave, are you writing this out? Dave, can you put it in the comments, please, sir? You might be. I just put you on the spot though. But those, I love that list, and it's 7 too. That's my wife's favorite number. So, Scott, number 4 was the easiest one. It was just hyper. I think I went through it so quick. I probably did that way too quick. But number 4 was hyper focused on the real estate niche and just really focusing in on real estate so that agents know you're the real estate person to go to and not like the general store. Right. So that was number 4. It's just, hyper focusing in on that, take opportunities as they come as you want them, but really hyper focused.
And I do want to just throw this in there again. I think I said this like 3 times, but just from like an outside perspective, this isn't a list that Rod just kind of made up. He's like, oh man, we got this live coming up here in a couple hours. What should we talk about? No, these are things that you guys have thoroughly like this is stuff that many people have. Like
every person that we have had on the live has those things.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the recipe, baby.
That's the recipe. We could sit here talk about settings and video and this and that. And it's like, no, that's not going to bring you guys the most value. Like you guys can go and look up those videos right now. But like these are the keys to the people who are crushing it. Like this is what they're doing. This is what they focus on. And this is why they're freaking crushing it. We're doing, I mean, I'm kind of mad that I haven't broken $100,000 a month yet. Because there's other people that have done that.
Good. Get mad.
I'm a little
channeled. Mad is good.
I'm a little mad. I'm a little, I'm competitive, but we're doing okay. We're doing just shy of like 80K a month. We're doing okay.
Oh man, yeah. I need to stop saying 50 like I've been saying. What am I saying 50K for a month?
Yeah, but and it's like it's surreal because like 2 years ago I was in the
taking the wrapping off your gear.
I had never owned a camera. And here we are. It's just amazing. It's great. Colleen said this at the conference, and I just love it because it's so true. But everyone listening here, whether you haven't started the business or you're a year in, you're 2 years in, and it's just not where you want it to be, you can change your life in a year. You can change your life in a year. And these keys that we talked about, like this is how you do that, right? Like you have to kind of redirect your focus from. Like sometimes I think people get a little bit jaded and they're a little bit tired because they've been focusing on the wrong things. So you just have to kind of like hit Control, Alt, Delete, and like, okay, what's really gonna grow the business? What's really important? What's really gonna matter? It's this. It really does come down to like your mindset and your focus and where you're putting your energy on. So you guys, this is why we wanted to talk about these things. You guys can change your life in a year. You can have whatever that looks like for you. For me, I started with that goal in mind. I wanted to build a business that would eventually run by itself, where I didn't have to go out and work every single day. And I worked hard to get there. That doesn't necessarily have to be everybody's goal. For somebody, it could be like, hey, I want to run solo and keep all the profit for myself. 80% profit sounds good. I want to keep all that money in my pocket. I don't really want to have to deal with the whole team. That's great. Like when I was in that phase of the business, I was making more money than I had ever made in my life. Like $500 in a day. Like I might as well have been rich, $1,000 in a day. What? How's this real? Like, there's nothing
Impossible,
wrong with it. Yeah. If that's your goal, great. There's nothing wrong with that.
I love that you brought that up, Kevin. A lot of people, I'll speak personally, but just like, in other types of businesses, just looking at people are like, oh yeah, my goal is X. And I'm like, but I don't really care about doing that. It's like, I don't want to go to that, whatever it is. It's just like, I love that you pointed that out because Kevin's goal, what Kevin did doesn't necessarily have to be what you have to do. It can be less, it can be more, it can be like whatever. But like, I love what Kevin's saying. It's just like, you're choosing that, and whatever you choose is what you need to go for. And so whether you want to just stay as a solo photographer and that's your goal, great job. Like do that. Or if you want to scale, do that as well. But I love that you said that, Kevin. It's like there's really no right or wrong answer unless you're doing something that you don't want to do. I think that's my take on it. Love that.
Yeah, it's your business. Like Rod said it earlier, I think. Like if you want to take on these crazy projects, do it. If you don't have to. It's your business. You do whatever you want. You can make
there's downsides to both. You're gonna be sacrificing something always, regardless. But it's just like which one's better for you.
Yeah. I think Colleen also said this. Like, this is just like a Colleen and Emmaus shout out fest, but like, you know, but Colleen said something at one of the masterminds, and I love the way she said it. It's like all of our businesses are kind of built off the same foundation, but they don't necessarily have to all look the same. Colleen runs her business very differently than I do. I know that because one of her photographers moved from Florida to Nashville, and it's been a little bit of a learning curve. Like, they operate very differently than we do, but it's like she's crushing it. Or our businesses are built off of the same foundation, but they can look differently. You know, they can look different because like of preference or because of our markets or just whatever. You know, so
my choice maybe too, but I love the foundation of it.
Yeah,
you know? And the foundation will
For
really
sure.
be the 7 talking points that we've talked about throughout this whole life. Once you have that,
the recipe,
build whatever you'd like.
Well, let's go ahead now. I want to share a win I see in the comments because I think it's cool. And then let's go into the Q&A. We'll rapid fire as many as we can, as much as we can. And y'all see the comments, so that y'all pin one and pick one that you want to answer, and we'll run through. It can be.
Well, quick shout out to Victor.
That's what I was one I was going to pick, because I remember Victor. I remember like 2 or 3 months ago, man, you were in the comments asking like, "Hey, I'm struggling. I'm in the beginning stages. I'm not getting results. What do I do? What do I do?" And we're like, "Go do this. Go do that." And look at you, that dude hitting like, let's go, baby.
I wish
hitting 35 to 4 grand, Victor. This is incredible to see this, man. This warms my heart.
I wish we could phone them in. Can we do that? Can we like phone them in? I would love to get like.
That sounds dangerous. That sounds dangerous, but we should one day.
I know Victor. Victor's awesome, but like I've talked to Victor extensively, and he's gone through a lot of these changes that we were talking about. Like, Victor's the perfect example. Like, all the fears and the coachability, like everything that we've talked about is all like applicable here to Victor as well. And look at him sharing this win. Like, that's incredible. So just
good job, Victor.
Yeah, so cool. Good job, man. Keep crushing it.
All right, first camera. What was the camera you were taking the wrapping off of?
Canon EOS R.
It's EOS R, okay.
Yep, EOS R.
There's a crop sensor in it, or wait, no, it's not. I don't know, man. I don't know. What aperture?
80K man doesn't even know like what camera he has.
It's the EOS R. That's all I know. I got a 16 to 35. There's like an adapter. That's all I know about it.
That's funny.
Yep.
We'll get more likes later, Scott. Y'all go like spam, so you know we boost.
I've always wanted to say this. You guys smash the like button, hit subscribe. Smash the like. I've always wanted to say that on a
we don't say it enough. We need to. You need to come on next time. All right, let's see here. What else is next? Here's a good question from Will. Wait, let me read it. I forgot. I always put it here and Eli reads it, so I'm so used to that. I lean back, take a little sip. But I don't see many going the route of full-time employees. I don't see many going the route of full-time employees. I'm only hiring full-time, about to be at 4 total full-time. Is that too risky of a path? I might not understand the question, actually, now that I read it out loud.
I think he's probably talking about like the part-time model that we recommend rather than a full-time model. I mean, part of the reason was more flexibility for the people that we hire. We're very upfront and letting them know that, you know, these are how many hours we're required for you. We're not required, but like we would love for you to work. But just know, especially in the beginning, you know, like at Norman Young size, they're going to be filled. But, you know, if you're just starting out, you can tell them like there will be some months that you have a full calendar, and there will be some months, especially during slow season, that you won't. So I would recommend that you still have a part-time job somewhere else. And it gives us many options to be filtering through some people as well. They're flexible. They can choose their hours rather than just being like, here your 40 hours every single week, and whether you have shoots or not, because things happen. And we pay them, you know, when they shoot. So I think that's what you were referring to, Will, and that's our take on it. Do you have another take on that, Kevin?
I think it just kind of goes back to like, it's your business, do whatever you want. You know, I think the most common thing is people hire part-time just so that they don't have to be on the hook, you know, like setting false expectations. Like for us, we hired our first, like when we hired our first photographer, we were very busy. I'm like, hey, I need somebody full-time. Then the next person, I'm like, hey, I need someone part-time. And then potentially, maybe if it works out, if you like it, we'll switch you to full-time. The next one, part-time. Like, it just, no, you could really, it's up to you. So yeah, I mean, if you're only hiring people off of full-time and you can support the availability, why not? I don't
That's
see anything
what it
wrong
is.
with it.
Love that.
Yeah.
Nathan's got a good point here too, old Nate. You know, when one leaves, it impacts you quite quite a lot. So it's
Ooh.
just
Yeah.
kind of spreading that out a little bit. So
Yeah.
this one's easy. Benjamin Clark, good question. We're talking about virtual assistant. Although
Virtual
hiring voice actors would be kind of cool. I'm starting to get ideas, but virtual assistants for
No,
this
Rod, no.
great question.
A question for Kevin.
Oh wait, I just put one in. I'm quick.
That one. Actually, yeah, I was gonna click on that one because like you were
Look at
very
us.
good at just like showing up, and a lot of
Yeah,
the
you were.
successful people that
You
we
are.
talk to, just like they always show up. Colleen showed up like to the
Yeah.
brokers. Anyway, if you want to talk a little bit about what you did.
Yeah, I think I think if I do say so myself, I'm the perfect person to talk about this because I moved from California to Nashville. All right, when I moved to Nashville, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have connections. I didn't know the geography, the layout. I didn't know the freeway, the highway. I didn't know anything, or I didn't know anyone. So when I started Nashville Media, I had to like really go out there and like try to figure out how to get business by any means necessary. So for me, it was a lot of like cold calls. It was a lot of Instagram method. And honestly, when it came to like networking events, like the way I kind of frame it now when I'm talking to coaching students, it's like you just have to get out and you have to talk to more real estate agents. But whatever way that works best for you, right? Eli talks about like leaning into your strengths a lot, right? So just get out and talk to agents. Are you really good at emails? Are you really good at Instagram? Because like you don't have to like talk to them. Are you good at cold calls? Or if you can kind of force yourself to get out of your comfort zone, what I did was I went out to open houses. I kind of invited myself to a lot of these like brokers opens. I know that's not necessarily common everywhere, but here in Nashville, real estate agents they'll preview a house before it goes live on the MLS, and they'll invite a bunch of other real estate agents to come preview the house. That sounds very appealing to me. If I'm trying to get a hold of these agents, I'm gonna find a way to invite myself there because then I'm stuck in a room with 10 to 20 agents and I can just be like, hey, my name's Kevin. I'm the owner of National Media Company. So for me, I got out of my comfort zone and I invited myself to a lot of these like brokers opens.
I mean, you're going into like I don't think a lot like that's like going into the lion's den in the beginning is how it feels. So that takes a lot of courage to do that.
Yeah.
So that's admirable that you and anyone that does that takes a lot of courage to hop into that lion's den.
You know, like Daniel Robles, he's like 2 hours south of us in Chattanooga. That's been working out really well for him. He's not here. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'm pretty sure he said this, that like for him going to open houses on the weekends was kind of scary. You know, hands are shaking, they're sweating. Your voice is kind of like shaking a little bit, but it's like, I think there's value in getting out of your comfort zone and forcing yourself to do that. Because then you build, like Emmaus, again, another Emmaus shout out. Last week, he was talking about how when one of them does pay off, you kind of build your confidence and you build momentum. You stack those wins. It energizes you to go do another one and go do another one. And you
all comes down to the action again.
That's it. It really does. So, to answer the question is, talk to the lenders in your area and find out, hey, where are the agents hanging out? Where are the networking events? Where's the brokers opens? I keep hearing about these brokers opens. How do I get put on the email list? Who do I got to talk to? Hit up agents on Instagram and be like, hey, I just saw, like, when I first started, I would always catch the brokers opens after they happened, right? After the agents went there and they posted all the stories. Well, then I would go and like, I kind of kept tabs on agents. I'm like, this agent is always going to, like, every Thursday, like clockwork, she's showing up to these brokers opens. So I hit her up. I think her name, I'll say her name, whatever. Daria. I'm like, Daria.
So you have to kind of become like almost like a private investigator a little bit, just a little PI vibe, just a little bit.
Yeah, Daria. Oh my God, these homes are incredible. How do I get added to this email list? I'll let you know when they come up. Awesome. Thanks, Daria. And now I invited myself to the next brokers open. And now I had like a connection. So now it wasn't just like me showing up unannounced. I knew Daria. So I was like, and then Daria kind of like took me under her wing, introduced me to everybody else. So, you just figure it out. Like go talk to people, go meet some people and just get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And then you get one out of the way and you're like, that was fun. Let me go do another one. And then all of a sudden, boom, you got a $50,000 a month business.
I think like a lot of people get in their head. It's just like, but what if they say no? It's like, yeah, what if they say no? Like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So,
on to the next one.
Nose.
Onto the next
question here. Like, do you recommend going to open houses near the end of it, or is there a strategy there, or do you just hop in at any point?
It is awkward. It is kind of awkward. I personally am not bold enough to just walk in there like during a busy open house. I like to go there right at the beginning as they're setting up, or right at the end. I think right at the end, shoot, If you go right at the end, you can help them like pack everything up. Hey, you want me to help you put your sign in your car? You want me to help you pack up all this, like all these snacks? Like, why not? But yeah, I definitely don't want to go in the middle of it when it's like super, super busy. But not every single open house has like lines out the door. Usually you go to the open house and the agent's just kind of sitting there on their butt. Yeah. So like if you drive by and like you walk in, like here's what I would do. I don't have business cards yet, but like if you have business cards, you can drop in and be like, hey, like if they're busy, hey, I just want to stop by and introduce myself. I was in the area. I'm just gonna leave my card here. Have a great day. Like if they're busy, I don't want to like bother them. I'm just gonna drop my business card and I'll leave. At least they saw me. But if I catch them and they're by themselves, I'm gonna chat. I'm gonna chat with them. Like, hey, what's going on? I just want to drop by and introduce myself. My name's Kevin. I'm the owner of National Media. I was in the area. Blah blah blah. Oh, is this your listing? Oh, what brokerage are you with? Blah 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 blah. Before you know it, boom, you have a client. You have referrals. Like a lot of times when I did these open house drop-ins, they started recommending me to other agents, even though they had never used me. But they just liked me enough. They're like, oh, Kevin's awesome. He said he's the owner of National Media. Use him. Here's his Instagram. And it's like, it's that easy, But yeah.
No, nice. Love that. This is a quick question we can answer for Mariah. I think I'm saying I feel like I'm not saying your name right now. I'm second guessing my whole life. But it's $15,000 a month still the recommendation for hiring. That's a good, comfortable line that we do recommend. Yes, I would say it's the preparation. Like once you're around $12,000 a month, though, that's when you start it. Like the worst thing that people can do is start to hire when they're extraordinarily busy and then don't have the time to properly hire, unless they're in our program and we help them and all that. Then yes, but yeah, you start to prepare before that line. So you start to do interviews and get people ready. And by the time you hit that point, you're ahead of the curve. You green light them, they're in, and it's peaceful. So there's right approaching that line is when you start to do that. And then Owen's got a really good question for you, Kevin, that I like. What's your philosophy on video offerings? I feel like I've tried every style and I can't figure out what's providing the most value and what should be thrown out.
Don't try it. All of the styles. Keep it. Go for it, Kevin. I mean, no,
please, you go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, don't try every style. Everybody, I love how Kevin said, like, everybody starts out with the same foundation, but not everything has to look the same. So I'm sure you'll see people who shoot the best videos, people who shoot what you think are average videos, and so on. But everybody has their opinions on that. It just depends on like what you're going for, how complex you want to get to, and like Rod and Kevin were saying, just like think about, let's just say you go through a complex version. Like, are you going to be able to teach that to photographers, and are you going to be able to do that at scale? If the answer is no, then probably don't do it. And it just comes down to like your goal. What I would say, keep it simple in the sense of like offer a 30, 60, and 120-second standard option, and then offer that for a premium option if you want to do that as well. Premium doesn't mean that you have to create movies. You can still have, we have some of our clients that shoot premium videos. They still send us just 5 gigs worth of footage, 45 clips or so. It's like you don't need to have 200 clips, 300 gigabytes of footage to be able to provide the best video ever. Same with the effects. You don't need to do all. I see people all the time just like, I just learned this new effect. I was like, why? The agent didn't even care about it. You're just, you're just stroking your own ego at that point.
It's one. You're 100% right. It's a vanity metric. You're stroking your own ego. I had this. The building that I'm sitting in right now is one of our clients. Like it's a development in downtown Nashville, and I saw this other real estate media company have that effect where they like split the building and it floats up and then it drops. And I was like, I want to do that. And then I did it, and then the client was like, okay, cool. Like, cool. They didn't ask for it. So I think a lot of times it's like it's an ego thing. I think it's it's the whole Instagram versus reality comparison is a thief of joy. Like we see all this other stuff, and then we're trying to do all of it, right? And it's like, okay, in the beginning, as you're like trying to find out like what your system, like what your style is, whatnot, okay. But very, very quickly, you got to start simplifying the process, and like this is how we do things. So like at National Media, we have 2 videos. We have a standard video and we have a premium, and we have a format. This is how we shoot it. This is what you get, right? We're stepping away from like the extra overly creative videos, right? Agents come with these ideas of grandeur, all these crazy ideas. They saw 10 videos and they want us to come up with all. It's like, no, this is how we do things. And then like they're like, hey, I want to do this, I want to be different, I want to do that, and you're like, great, this is how we do video.
Yes, that's
This is how
that's
we do
exactly
video.
what I was saying like earlier on. It's like
That's what Kenny was saying earlier
or you
about the
can give, like
boundaries.
you can give solutions, just like no,
Yeah.
but this is, and like you have a
Just, yeah.
simplified way.
You
You also
compromise.
share it in premium,
Yeah.
but you have a simplified like formula
Yes.
for your team.
Yep.
It's not going to be
Yeah.
that it's going to take them 5 hours to shoot at home. It's just
Yeah.
probably going to take them the same amount as a
Yeah.
standard video, but they do it a little bit differently.
Mhm. And you have to, like, your process has to be that simplified once you start to hire photographers.
Mhm.
That's one thing I had to learn the hard way, that once I started hiring photographers and I had to train them how I did video, I was like, I'm
This
all
isn't
over
going to
this.
work.
I don't know what I'm doing. They're asking me all these questions and I'm like, figure it out. Well, figure it out took 2 years, so that's not going to work. So I had to create a very simplified process, to the point now, after lots of failed, like, I have to take accountability. Like, I hired people and I didn't have the systems in place. I wasn't a good boss. I went through like 12 people. So to the 12 people that are watching that came through national media, didn't work out, I'm sorry. After 12 people, I finally realized I need to simplify my process. This is how we shoot videos. This is how it's done. And it's paying off for me, because now one of our photographers, she's been with us for 5 months. Her videos are incredible. They're better than mine. And she was able to learn it like from scratch very quickly, because the process is very simplified. So, Owen, back to your question, I would say my advice to you would be, you have to decide, these are the 2 videos I want, these are the 2 styles, and I'm just going to kind of stay in my lane and just try your best not to get too carried away with the overly creative videos, overly complex ideas, because then that's just going to pull your focus away, and that's going to kind of stunt your business, right? You end up like chasing the rabbit. You end up trying to emulate all these other people that you see on social media, thinking that that's going to grow your business, or it's just an ego thing. And then all of a sudden, a year later, you're still stuck in the same place, and you're like, why am I still stuck? It's like, well, you're, so I don't know.
Like
Sure
that one
if that's
person that I
on.
saw in the Facebook group, it was like, took me 2 hours to color grade it perfect. It's like, why? There's plenty of companies that are, first, they're not even editing themselves, and second, like, they don't care about that. Like the client's not going to see it, but
just have a simplified process and don't overcomplicate it. That's something I had to very much learn the hard way. And Kenny, since you were like my coach in the beginning, I'm sure you could speak to that as well.
I mean, like, you did it. That's the thing. You were coachable. You accepted it, and I think thank you for sharing for the people out there who are like, oh, okay, I'm in that boat too. Maybe, or maybe they'll remember your stories. Like, okay, I'm not gonna struggle, so it doesn't take me 2 years to finally realize it's 12 employees, But awesome.
I'm very hard-headed.
This is a good question for Marco. He's in Canada, where things are different as far as Part 107. He was saying on another comment, but agents all the time will say, I do my own photos, all that. Like, when you get that, what do you typically say with that, Kevin? If an agent was to say, hey, I don't need media, I do my own media, basically is what Marco's saying, specifically honestly, for drone.
I just don't think that that's very common. Marco, my question to you would be, like, how often are you getting that? Because I feel like that's very uncommon. Like, you might get like 1 or 2 out of 1,000. And if that's the case, like, what is the way Jared says it? Like, don't let a 1% complaint dictate 90% of like your, like, what's the quote, guys? I'm butchering it. Like,
no, it's definitely like, don't let 1% of your clients change 100% of your business or something.
Because so Marco,
like, I would be interested in the data, like how many agents have we spoken to, and what percentage of them said this? And
but also, my mind's going
super
to
high numbers, and like then maybe something's happening there.
So I mean, Marco, I would say, first of all, how often is that happening? My guess would be not often enough for it to be like a big problem. And then 2 would be like, what's your, like, if I'm putting myself in your shoes, and let's say I am getting that that feedback from clients, like, I don't want to pay that much. Well, then I would question myself, like, well, maybe am I charging too much? Is it a price thing? If I lower the price, like, let's say I'm charging $155 for drone photos. Hey, what if I lowered it to $95? Still good money. I'm still making a ton of profit. And then maybe I'm going to encourage a lot more agents to order drone photos. And then, so small town, one time.
So make it tough in certain spots in old Canada. You know?
I mean, I was going to say, like, are you just offering drone photos too? Because, I mean, if somebody says it's like, no worries. I mean, I still do photos, videos. Like, there's still other add-ons that you can do.
I think it's going to be, Marco, I think it's going to, like, just to be real, it's going to be hard. We have a student named Eddie Roberts, shout out Eddie Roberts, that lives in Isle of Man, very small island off the coast of the United Kingdom, 60,000 people. I remember speaking to him before we moved with coaching. And it was almost like, I remember chatting with Eli and multiple people, like, is this location okay? He is on an actual island and there's 60,000 people. It's more than the population minimum we recommend for someone to do this, but it's kind of like, what? And there's 14 agents there. We found out later, actually. And he just crossed a $5,000 month.
Wow.
He is used by every single agent in that area and has slowly become used by every single agent in that area. And is signing deals with every company is starting to use him. So not saying you got to become the almighty there, but when there's a will, there's a way. And he, in the first 3 months, it tested him and he didn't think nothing was going to happen. And he kept going and providing as much value and help and wanting to be the guy on Isle. He is the Isle of Man, right? And he made it work on that island. So it's going to be hard, Marco, and it's going to be 11K people. You got less than him. So my thought is either build this business very meticulously, right? And I mean, if you got to hire someone out in an area, that's good. Figure out, get creative with that. Or moving is it sounds harsh to say, but if you really want to do this business and this is the business for you, that is also on the table. We've seen people do that in bad areas. So small, 1,000 people, if you don't have more than 50,000 people within an hour radius of you, Marco, it genuinely will be tough in certain areas.
Yeah.
You know, and it's either moving or building the business and hiring people out in areas that are good, that might be 3 hours away from you, but the profits are so hard in the beginning that's very tough. And you'll have to keep pressing uphill, like you're walking uphill at that point. But it will be hard, Marco. But yeah, smaller areas will be tough. That's why when we onboard people into coaching, we really want to make sure they're in an area that they can squeeze the market. And if not, it genuinely sometimes might not be the best thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like what Nate said. Sell them on the idea they don't have to show up, and then kind of do a mix of what Kevin was saying and Nate's saying. It's just like sell them on that idea and then give them a discount. You just need really one person to start using you for those, for everybody to be like, maybe I should start just using Marco for this.
Yeah, you know, and I've seen that happen like with Mike, right? Mike moved to the Knoxville area. Agent on camera and social media reels were not really a thing. He kind of made it a thing. He started giving away a bunch of reels to clients, and agents want what other agents have, right? So if everyone's posting, like somebody posted in here about cell phone photos,
so true,
if everyone in your market's posting cell phone photos, you can look at that from one of two ways. Agents here in my area are cheap; they're all using cell phone photos, so why even bother? Or I'm gonna be the guy. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna dominate, and slowly, Rod said it earlier, slowly I'm gonna start to take over. It'll snowball. Like, it might be a little slow. You got to be gritty. You got to have the resilience that we talked about, right? That's the 7 or 6, the 7 characteristics. But you can slowly start to convert agents to come away from cell phone photos. You know, and I've seen
Eli did that in his small town. He's in Dallas, near Dallas Fort Worth, but it was not Dallas Fort Worth where he started. It was a smaller town outside of that. And at the time, agents weren't using media, and he could have easily been like, "Well, they're not getting any. There's no demand." He created the demand, and then one started using him, and they started using all the services. And the other was jealous, like, "Hold on, you got good media. I want good media." And they all started chattering. Where'd you get it, Eli? And then it spreads, and now he has set a new status quo there.
Yeah,
right. You be the status quo.
That sounds unrealistic to say that you can move into a market and like create the demand. But you can. I've seen it happen. Eli,
sales and marketing, baby.
Yeah, man. Like, let's go.
Fun.
You just need that one person.
Yeah. You give
a couple open houses right at the end, like a good creeper. That's all you gotta do is creep a little bit. That's it. Stalk people's schedules.
Action. You know, I wrote this in my notes earlier. I don't know how well it ties into what we're talking about, but it's like you can either make excuses or you can make it happen. You can't do both.
That reminds me of the don't wish it was easier, wish you were better.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man. Well, we got one more question. And Owen, I remember actually speaking to you a long time ago, Owen. So I love seeing your name in here always. And I know Xavier said my name earlier in here, and I've been feeling bad about it the whole time, not saying hey to Xavier. So Xavier, if you're still on here, hello, good sir. But we'll end with this question, and then we'll hop out of here. I just realized we went 20 minutes over, but I'm having fun. But this is a good question from Owen here. And I think, Kevin, you probably have some good insight on this one too. Oh, let me read. I always forget to read it. How do you approach a high volume agent that seems to have a good photographer already, and you're not sure how you can provide you can provide to show them you're worth working with?
All right, you guys ready? You got to flank them. Does that make sense? You got to flank them.
Ooh.
Flank them on all fronts. Flank them in their DMs. Flank them by posting like crazy. Flank them by working with other agents in their brokerage. Flank them. Like here's the way I like to here's how I like to frame it. There are golden clients here in Nashville that I really want to work with, right? What are golden clients? Golden clients are agents who get a ton of business, they have a ton of listings, and then they see the value in social media. They see the value in doing all these videos. They see the value in spending money on their listings. I see these clients, I'm like, I want to work with them. How do I work with them? I'm going to flank them. I'm going to send them emails. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to comment on all their posts. I'm going to react to all their stories. I'm going to work with every single agent that I possibly can in that brokerage. I'm going to show up to their open house. So if it's a high volume agent and they already have a good photographer, I'm going to come in and I'm going to come in with that competitive mindset. I'm like, one way or another, I'm going to find a way to work with that agent. And then lo and behold, what do we preach all the time? A free shoot. Come on, offer them a free shoot. Have that conviction, have that confidence in your abilities, and get after it. Show up to an open house, offer them a free shoot, do whatever it is that you have to do to get to that agent. Because if it's a good agent, if it's a high volume agent like you say it is, then it's worth the effort. But also while we're on that, I treat every agent as if they're a high volume agent, right? Even if they don't really have that many listings, they might have a lot of pull, right? Like
Agents like to feel good, though. They like to be what they want to become too, and you're putting them on a pedestal to become what they want to become. That's huge, man. I love that perspective.
I have an agent who gave me one listing all of last year, but the referrals that agent gave me were the equivalent to like 100 listings. So I treat every single agent as if they're a high volume agent, because you never know the referrals that are going to come from that agent.
Can I just point out something?
Please do.
You did not give advice on how to have the best settings, how to have the best photos, videos, because this person already has a good photographer, so it's like all of it that you talked about was just like showing up as a person. Like people want to do business with people, and as long as your photos, your media is good enough, you're good. You just have to do exactly what Kevin said, like Instagram DMs, Facebook messages, show up to their brokerage, meet them, go work with their agents, people that they work with. Just a lot of that. Just like people will want to work with you, not because of the media, but just the way they feel with you. And exactly like you said with that one client that only gave you one listing last year, they probably felt like $1 billion right there. And because of that, they were able to refer you to a ton of clients. Love that.
Yeah, 100%. I love that's yes. That was the cherry on top right there, Kenny. I love the way you said that.
Cool.
Yeah, no.
Alrighty. Well,
it's always awkward to stop. Always I don't know what to do with my hands. I actually don't know what buttons to click, Kenny. So I hope you.
I got you. But I don't know how Eli ends it, but
usually we always invite people to come talk to us about coaching, right? So I got to throw in the coaching, but seriously though, if you all have spoken to anyone on our team, anyone listening, you've spoken to our, anyone on our team, and you're considering coaching, and first shout them out if you want to shout out. Or if you want to shout them out that you spoke to, who you spoke to. But if it's something that you're wanting to do, we love helping people get creative to put them back there in coaching. We believe so. When we talk about conviction on what you believe in, we believe in what our coaching program can do for people. So if you've spoken to us already and you're not in there yet, and you're like, how do I make it work? Ask whoever you spoke to help you just tell them, hey, I want to get creative. And we love helping people get creative. We love helping people get coaching. Right now, the second thing is, if you haven't actually talked to us about coaching yet, I'm going to put a link. I'm going to go grab it. If you haven't spoken to us about coaching yet, we ain't going to bite. Right. Let me put it here to talk about coaching. It'll send you to a link. You'll answer some questions so we can get to know you a smidge, and then it'll direct you accordingly for you to go through in our process where we talk about coaching. We check your location. We check your time. We're not going to put you back in a coaching program if you don't have a good location, you don't have a lot of time, and we want to make sure you have the things that we have found. Remember those 7 things we were talking about earlier? We're kind of looking for signs of those things. We want people to get coaching that's going to squeeze the life out of it. So the reason we have calls to go over that, and price is conditional based on where someone's at in the business, and so we'll go over all that with you, and, be able to, we got Dick French in here. Richard, good to see you, sir. Let's talk about it. Said he never got a call from Eli's team. Uh-oh, that's the first time I've seen that. Who's in trouble? Hey, let's talk about it. If you can, email everybody here or any communication thing you got here, email them, text them, let them know, and we'll get that fixed. I apologize about that. But yeah.
Cool.
Can we ask questions if you can't afford coaching? Yes, you can. I guarantee you, anyone you speak to here about coaching, if you need support,
that
they'll give
call's
it to you
free.
either
You're
way.
not going to charge them for that call, right?
It's $100 surcharge for the call. I'm just kidding. No, it's free. Y'all, we believe what I can end on now is our team here. We are big believers in a book called The Go Giver. It's if you haven't read it, we recommend our students read it. We recommend our team to read it. It's a red cover. One of the authors is Bob Berg. I forget the other guy. It's John or some poor guy, but it's a red cover. It's called The Go Giver. And it is probably one of my favorite books I think I've actually ever read. I am going to hype it up that much. It has had such a profound impact on my life in making money and helping people in life and personal and business that it's just unexplainable to actually, implementing what's taught in that book. And it's such a good book because it's a story the whole time. It's not like bullet point list, go do this. It's told through story form. And it's just, yeah, if y'all read that book, I know Dave's read it 45,000 times. That's why he's such an incredible person, y'all. That's why he's always given to this community so much. He lives, breathes the go-giver. If I can embody the go-giver into human form, it's freaking Dave Burley, baby. So y'all go, if I had to recommend any book, it's a 2.5 hour read on Audible, for goodness sake. Listen to it in the morning. Make sure you get through it within 24 hours, 2 hours. Come on now. It's real short, but it's quite profound. It'll change your world if you actually implement that side into your business. So we'll end with that.
Yeah.
Rod,
Anything else
Kevin.
All right, guys.
Kevin, thank you for taking the time to be on. I know you're running a high-end $80,000 a month real estate media business, and look at you over here with us.
Let's go.
Small town.
And I've never worked less. I gotta love it.
I don't know how that's happening. And Kenny, I miss your voice, good sir.
You, man.
And I know Scott Stone's going to be so mad because he's been commenting for you, and I didn't see him in here. He's been asking for you, so he's going to be super happy to know that you're in here. So thank you for hopping back on, and everyone listening. We love y'all. This is probably one of my most favorite parts of my week. I love what I do, but it's really fun to ramble to you guys and y'all listen to us. So appreciate you all listening. Have a great Thursday. Have a great Friday. Have a great Easter. If you celebrate Easter, have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye, everybody. Oh yeah, Kenny, cue that music. I don't know what I'm doing, sir. Oh.
No, I like this one better.
Oh, yeah, this one's nicer. Bye, everybody.
Not a little.